began before midnight, the kind that fell like needles on the tin rooftops and turned the narrow streets of East Wren into glistening rivers of filth. Detective Aaron Voss pulled his collar higher and glanced down the alley, watching how the flickering neon sign of a broken diner stuttered across the puddles like dying stars. Somewhere in that labyrinth of wet concrete and half-forgotten dreams, a killer was waiting. The call had come in less than an hour ago. Another body. Third one this week. Each one found in a different alley. Each throat cut clean, precise, almost surgical. And always the same message carved into the wall beside them. You can't hide the truth. Aaron's boots splashed as he moved deeper into the alley. The body was still there, female, mid-30s, red dress now soaked black with rain and blood. Her eyes were wide open, staring at nothing. The city lights reflected in them like broken glass. For a moment, Aaron saw his own face in those eyes and quickly looked away. Same style, asked a voice behind him. It was his partner, Detective Lila Grant, short, sharp, always chewing on gum, as if to mask the stench of the things they saw. Same cut, Aaron muttered. Same signature. Knife wound to the throat, one deep slash, no hesitation. Lila crouched beside the body. No defensive wounds. She didn't fight back. Means she trusted him, Aaron said. Or didn't see him coming. They worked in silence, the rain washing away traces of blood from the cobblestones. When the coroner's van arrived, Aaron stepped aside, lighting a cigarette even though he'd promised to quit. The smoke curled through the rain like a ghost of his own guilt. It had been 5 years since the Marianne case, a murder that had nearly destroyed him. A case he had solved too late. The victim had been someone he loved. And now, every new body felt like a whisper from the past, taunting him, dragging him deeper into a darkness he could never escape. Later that night, Aaron sat in his car outside the precinct, staring at the files spread across the passenger seat. 3 victims. All female. All connected by one thing. They'd once worked for the same man, Dr. Elias Kaur, a psychiatrist known for his research into trauma and repressed memories. The doctor's face stared at him from the file, balding, intelligent eyes, calm smile. Too calm. Aaron tapped his cigarette on the edge of the car door. You can't hide the truth, he muttered. What truth, Doc? By morning, the city was gray and hollow, shivering under the weight of the previous night's rain. Aaron and Lila paid a visit to Dr. Kaur's office, a tall building overlooking the harbor, its glass facade reflecting the sickly light of dawn. The receptionist smiled nervously when they flashed their badges. Dr. Kaur is with a patient right now, but he can see you in 15 minutes. We'll wait, Aaron said. When Kaur finally emerged, he greeted them with the warmth of a practiced host. Detectives, he said. To what do I owe the pleasure? Aaron's eyes didn't leave his. 3 of your former patients are dead. All murdered. Same signature. You know anything about that? Kaur's expression remained unchanged. I'm sorry to hear that, but I haven't seen most of my former patients in years. You think someone's targeting them because of me? That's what I'm here to find out, Aaron said. Kaur gestured toward his office. Please, come in. The office was spotless. Books lined the walls in perfect order, and a faint scent of sandalwood filled the air. Lila's eyes moved to a sculpture on the desk, a twisted figure of a man covering his face. Nice piece, she said. It's called denial, Kaur replied softly. We all wear masks to protect ourselves from truth. Aaron studied him. And some people carve that truth into walls. Kaur smiled faintly. Perhaps your killer believes he's freeing people from their lies. Aaron leaned forward. Or maybe he's punishing them for yours. Something flickered in Kaur's eyes. A shadow, gone in an instant. Detective, I assure you, my only concern is helping my patients heal. As they left the building, Lila looked at Aaron. You think he's involved? I think he's lying, Aaron said. But not about what? Not yet. That night, Aaron couldn't sleep. He poured whiskey into a cracked glass, opened the case file again, and started drawing connections. The victims had all been in Kaur's therapy group for trauma survivors, women who claimed to have repressed memories of violence. But all their statements had been sealed years ago, under court order. One name kept surfacing in their notes, the man with the knife. A faceless figure from their dreams. A shadow that hunted them in their sleep. Aaron stared at those words until they blurred. Then he saw something that made his blood run cold. Kaur's handwriting. Beside the patient notes a single phrase: "The knife reveals the truth." He grabbed his coat and drove. The rain had stopped, but the city still smelled of it. Wet asphalt, exhaust, secrets. He parked outside Core's house at 2 a.m. Lights were off. A single car in the driveway. He moved quietly, every sense sharpened by adrenaline and guilt. Inside, the house was silent. Aaron moved room to room, flashlight sweeping across walls lined with books and framed degrees. Then he found the basement door, locked. He forced it open. The smell hit him first. Metallic. Rotting. Then the light caught something that froze him where he stood. On the basement walls, hundreds of photographs, women's faces, cut from newspapers and printed files, each with a date written beneath. And in the center, on a table, lay a surgical knife gleaming under a single bulb. And pinned beside it, Lila's photo. Aaron's breath caught. He heard a creak behind him and turned. Core stood at the top of the stairs, a knife in his hand, his calm smile gone. "You shouldn't have come here, detective." "Drop it," Aaron said, gun drawn. "You think you understand," Core said, stepping down slowly. "But you don't." "They lied. They came to me broken, full of secrets. I showed them the truth. The knife was only a mirror." "You murdered them." "No," Core hissed. "I freed them. The knife only cuts away the lies." He lunged. The struggle was brief and brutal. The blade sliced across Aaron's arm. The gun fired once. Core fell, knife clattering against the concrete. Aaron stood there, chest heaving, blood mixing with sweat. For a moment, he thought it was over. Then he saw movement, Core crawling toward a small recorder on the floor. He pressed play. A voice filled the basement. Lila's voice. "I remember now. It wasn't him. It was Aaron. He's the one who..." Aaron froze. The tape clicked off. Lila, his partner, his friend. She'd been in therapy with Core? He stared at the knife, at the photos, at the horror of it all. The world tilted. He felt something shatter inside him. When the police arrived minutes later, they found Core dead, and Aaron sitting on the basement floor, the recorder still in his hand, eyes empty. He never spoke about what was on the tape. Weeks passed. The city moved on. Lila filed her report, left the force soon after. Aaron disappeared, his badge found on his desk beside a single note. "The knife reveals the truth." Months later, in another city, another alley, the rain fell again. A woman screamed. The police found her throat cut, message carved beside her in blood: "You can't hide the truth." And under a flickering streetlight, a shadow moved, tall, silent, gloved hand gripping a knife that gleamed like a smile in the dark.